Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another fun-filled adventure. Let's see what they're doing today. And there's lots of stories out there. Lots of stories. Ooh, what do we got there? Commercial. One of the obvious stories, we talked about it on Monday, was that, what's it called? Green Grand or Grand Green or something like that. The largest Chinese bank. The collapse of that last night. Evergreen, that's it. Evergrande suspends trading in all bonds now. No interest. And obviously, as I was telling Robin, I was saying there's no way that they're going to take any of the $1 trillion that they have parked in U.S. bonds and use it. They take out 15 billion here or 10 billion, but they're not taking that money and losing it because they're not making that much money to begin with. They just raised some TARFs. In China over the last 12 hours or maybe the last 2 hours. I understand it was just announced. It could be literally in the last 10 minutes. Things are really falling apart in China, and as much as we always tell everybody here, that is exactly what's going on over the last half a decade. Not to take the place too serious. Everybody else in the media wants to tell you how wonderful the place is. So I wouldn't invest a dime over there, and I don't. I stay clear of it. And they're going to have some problems getting their money back when they try to get it. Oh well, that's what, there's so much cash out there, I'm sure the Federal Reserve will bail out whoever has to be bailed out. But anyway, let's start off and see what's going on this morning here. Let's see, you can see here that is the Swiss. And I'm a little surprised the way it turned around yesterday. That really caught my eye. Whereas the Canadian went down into a daily sell. Let's get that fact check spreadsheet. That was a little of a surprise. The action that we're seeing in some of the pairs trades. Also, at the same time, let me fix the cable. The cable did not go into a buy. It stayed in the sell. Let me fix that. Tab and 2. There we are. So that was another. Just made it onto the edge, and when they finally settled it at, 5 Eastern Standard, it was in a minus, and I took that number before that. So the surprise to me, though, out of all of it is the Swiss. As you can see there, the Swiss, and you can see here on Chicago Quant, the Swiss, both are turning up. See it right there. You see we got the green, green, red, green. It's showing some strength there. You can see the same thing here with the Chicago Quant, green, 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 and green. I guess that's the best way to describe it. No reds. But the end result is that both have picked up the strength going on right there in the J4X. And our work here doing the same exact thing. Our work on both of them, really, because who else uses a slow and fast-moving stochastic combined with a hinky-ashy? Yo, 47. Ah, there you are. GBP JPY. Let's check it out. Hearing some really wild stuff. What was it? A frigate, a Chinese frigate, banged into a Coast Guard ship and rammed it in Japan over the last 12 hours. I think the Chinese are getting really desperate. Supposedly there's a lot of unrest over there. I keep on hearing that. But they don't have any guns, and when you don't have guns, who has the guns is the winner. And so that's going on there. But let's jump over to that. GBP JPY. Right there. We'll throw it up on J4X. And we'll take a peek at it through Chicago Quant. And let's see. Right. GBP JPY right there. And you can see we went into that sell 2 days ago. Seeing a little volatility signal kicking out at the moment. A little strength there. You see that? It's up a little bit for the day. Our weeklies are still hanging below. Look at how close that is. We're going to give you a Control R just to give it a refresh, but it's still underneath. So the weakness is still there on the GBP JPY, and probably any strength in it at the moment is probably because of the way the dollar is strong against everything. And what was really funny, I know, like haha funny, is that I came back last night and saw this headline. It said something crazy like dollar drops, bonds drop, stocks rally, or something like that, and cryptos climbed. dropped. Anyway, the whole headline was wrong. It was amazing. I was really surprised. I mean, whoever wrote that headline had no idea what was going on there. So anyway, you can see it here. The GBP JPY has some strength. It's got a little volatility. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Like that. There we go. You can see there the green dot and red dot combined together. Last time we had one of those and we were climbing through, we had some strength out of that, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, what was the last time we had? There was that one right there too. Same thing, it was minus. Maybe it's going to take up. I don't know. Maybe it looks like it. I would like to see the weekly get going, but the weekly just refuses. It just refuses to join the game. And so we've been in a weekly sell on this product for back in here in the 55 area. So as much as they're flirting with the 52, 51 and a half, I don't have a lot of confidence in it. I do think that if it climbs up into the daily buy here, going into the close today or tomorrow, there might be some buying that takes you back up to the 52 and a half, 53 area. That's about it. Why is the dollar strong, weakening GBP? Let's take a look at GBP as you say that. Because that's what there's a calamity going on. China's falling apart. What's really weird is that Evergrande collapsed 13 years to the day that Lehman Brothers collapsed. Isn't that wild? 13 years to the day. So the reason why we're seeing that is because China's falling apart, and the Federal Reserve will not allow equities to go down. They're not going to allow equities to go down. They're not going to let bonds get too spiked about anything. And you can see, matter of fact, if you want to, there's cable right there. Let's widen that out a little bit. And cable, is rolling over here and just missed the buy yesterday. I thought it had touched it and closed in it, but it did not. And so we're seeing that pressure still. And it's not really going anywhere. Not like, let's see what the euro is doing. The euro, I think, is rolling over. Yeah, euro's rolling over like the way the Swiss is taking off. So that is not, they don't, remember, when the world has a problem, everybody runs to the dollar, even if the problem is the Americans itself. And when the problem is like, China or, Greece or whatever, then what happens? They run to the dollar also. So, there's that facade. And I keep on saying it. I know it sounds crazy, just as I was the one that spotted many good traders told me that I had to calm down on the idea that the Federal Reserve was plowing money into the markets back in 2008, 2007, and 2009. And they said, this makes no sense, and I know and back then when you said that the Federal Reserve was plowing money into the markets, people used to call you, somebody who wears tinfoil on their head. They thought that you were crazy. And so, to me, I could not figure who would interrupt trades in the middle of the afternoon or in the evening and buy and then buy higher and survive, and the markets would stay firm. And then in 2009, when when it was very clear to me that buyers were coming in the evening and picking the stock market up and holding it up, I said, who would have the money and the guts to do that? And it's obvious that the Federal Reserve is the only one that has the ability to do that. Nobody else has that ability. So that's the answer to why they're buying the dollar, is that it's not that they're buying the dollar that they think it's a great investment. It's just the rest of the world is terrified right now, and they don't want to lose their equity. Hence 17 or 18 trillion invested in government bonds across the planet that don't pay any interest, and you have to pay interest to be invested. That's the reason why. So it's not exactly like they're running to the dollar because they think the dollar is a great investment. They're running to the dollar for safety. Okay? Now, is the dollar a good investment? At the moment, yeah. I mean, how do we always describe it? The American dollar is the cleanest of the dirty shirts in the laundry. So if Japan was a dirty shirt, and England was a dirty shirt, the United States was a dirty shirt, France was a dirty shirt, Germany was a dirty shirt, out of all the shirts you would want to be willing to put on would be the American shirt, because it's the cleanest of all the dirty shirts. It's not that it's the best, it's a flight to safety. That's what it comes down to. So, all right. And so, as I was saying at the beginning of the webinar, I am really impressed watching the way the Swiss is taking off. Going in the wrong direction. In other words, it's not gaining value; it's losing value. You have to wonder: are the Chinese liquidating Swiss assets? Because they're sure not going to run away from dollar assets. Because one thing the Communist Party there is not going to do is lose their big pile of money sitting in America. As much as they say all kinds of crazy stuff, the only way they would ever do that is if they were more superior militarily, because guns are the answer to all their frustrations. And you hear all the time, and I mentioned it on Tuesday, where there was talk about enormous outbreaks all around the country of people just picketing against the government. And who knows how much Evergreen or Evergrande, or what is it here? Let's put it up there. Let's put it up on the screen. We don't have to put it up. I can go down to it right there. There we go. And so Evergrande, right there, Evergrande suspends trading in all bonds. And it says, 13 years after Lehman failed, things in China are starting to crack. And so that's what's going on there. Matter of fact, what's really wild is this thing about France. Where was it? There it is. France accuses backstabbing by Biden of being worse than Trump as UK-Aussie defense pact sinks sub-deal. Things are really ugly. IPOs popping in a mass in its latest stage of market euphoria. Money's got to go somewhere. And if it's an American IPO, I'm sure they're running right towards it. So that's what's going on. And I know that it seems odd and stupid, but it is what it is. All right, now let's jump back to the other two. Let's just take a look at the euro, and you can see the euro is following the same way as the. Matter of fact, what's really interesting is look at the euro there. It's actually going after the weekly sell now. We're seeing a little damage being done here. The bigger question is, are they going to, defend? Will the Fed, when they get done defending everything else over the next 24 hours, do they come in and defend the euro? Or will they let the euro finally go back down to this channel that it hasn't challenged in a while, right there? Whereas we're seeing in the Swiss, let's show you that again. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's put the euro on the J4X too at the same time. Right there. Okay, now I just want to run back up to the Swiss on the Chicago Quant chart, solely because I want to see it actually where it's at the moment. And you can see there, it's trying to go up after that channel right there. It's broken out of this long triangle, descending going down, that is, triangle. And this is the Chinese problem, and they're going to have to deal with that. They have to deal with it. The Federal Reserve is the world reserve. They don't want anything collapsing. They're going to deal with that, and they're not going to pay any. They're not going to pay their debtors and so forth. And who will come in and protect China? The Federal Reserve, of course, because that's their job at this point, to keep the world steady. Matter of fact, when seeing that, let's just take a quick look. But when seeing that, where do you think gold is? Wouldn't you normally, Doc would be telling you, wouldn't you think gold is like, trading at $2,400 now? Something like that. But no. Look what they're doing to gold. They're smacking it down to convince the world, don't worry, be happy. So gold is going down. China, its major bank, its major number one bank has collapsed. And I'd imagine Bitcoin, which closed in a daily buy, has to be up. I would hope that there's some sanity in this financial world. Some sanity. Look at it. It's just hanging out. At least it's not going down. I can say that about the cryptocurrency. At least it's not going down, and it's in a buy. So that's a good thing. And so, matter of fact, it's in a buy for 3 days. That data is bad. I will fix that. After the webinar, I'll take care of that. Let me erase that. But yeah, it's 3 days in a buy. This is the third day, and that data now has been filled in. The low was lower, and the opening was lower, and the high was, and the low. I said the low, right? And so the high was higher. And then somehow or another, the next day they stick this rubbish in there, and you can see we're even flirting with the weekly buy number again. We went into the weekly sell last week. Look at that. We're through the zero line. It's starting to climb back up again in the cryptos. Thank goodness, at least the cryptos, are doing their job. As long as there's quantitative easing, obviously there's going to be cryptos, and there has to be an alternative to some of this insanity. All right. So yeah, let's go back to the currencies. But yeah, gold. Can you imagine? Gold is down. What world is that? That gold is down when allegedly the second largest economy, which I again disagree is not the second largest economy as far as I can tell, is down. How does that work there? How much is that down today too? They have a settlement on the product at 95 basically yesterday, and right now we're trading at the lows of the day at 63 with a 61. So it's down $44. Yeah, China collapses and they sell gold. Does any of that ever make any sense? I have no idea. ETH is up a little stronger. Oh, Ethereum? Yeah, it's really getting some legs in there, Ethereum is. Matter of fact, there's a few of these cryptos that are getting more legs than the Bitcoin, but it's quite all right. When we get enough data for Ethereum, we're going to have Ethereum on this machine. Yes, it's still only like 4 months, and we may soon be able to start getting that data, which would be nice. All right. So where was I at? I was heading towards. I just wanted to see where the Swiss is. I think that you got to imagine that China is reaching to every place they have assets, minus the United States, and selling some of them because they need those assets. Things are ugly. So I know. Only Doc here is saying it. Only One Business News is saying it. Only Newsmax is saying it. And then the rest of the financial community and the U.S. media is telling you how wonderful China is. I don't even know if they're even reporting this bank collapse. Since I don't watch the general media, I have no idea. Matter of fact, that would be interesting in its own right. Is just any one of you who want to look at this that crazy stuff, take a look at CNBC or Bloomberg. Let's see if we can tune into Bloomberg for a second and see, are they even mentioning this? Let's see what their headline says. Let's go there. Where's that? Right there. I'll do it first and see if I can find it. But I would be surprised if Bloomberg's even mentioning more than exact. They probably say, well, they've delayed it. Don't worry. Here, okay, Bloomberg. Jobless, no. Inflation, where's the Chinese one? It's got to be Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe seeks investors for dollar bonds. Oh, okay. China is ready. Booster Kremlin outbreak spreads virus. Would you believe there's no headline about China and their bank? That's crazy. Look at this. I'm going to tune you into it. You don't even know. They hide the information. I keep on saying that to traders for 9 years here. It's amazing. It is amazing. This is 99-cent flash rubbish. Ooh. Let's go back. There's the headlines on the front page of Bloomberg. So they talk about U.S. initial jobless claims rose last week. Futures pair losses, bonds dropped, retail sales market. Inflation soared in some U.S. cities. Look at latest financial news. Coinbase spat with SEC ups. They had Zimbabwe on there a few seconds ago. let's see, can we find anything about China? How about over here in opinions? Nothing. This is live. This is the front page of Bloomberg, and they're not telling you one word about China. CNBC also, yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. They are hiding all the news. I mean, it's just insane. Here, Evergrande suspends trading. It's their largest bank. Let's see if we can see even how much debt. I didn't even read the article fully. You know, I don't even know. They're not even able to tell you what the largest. Let's see if we can find it. How much debt they're probably in the trillions. It's probably like, you know, do many traders know that Deutsche Bank at one point had what they call what do they call those things? They had Deutsche Bank had 63 or 65 trillion, not billion or million, trillion in pairs trades. They do these hedge things for private investors. They had, and now they're down to about 20 trillion. I mean, the German economy is what, 3.5, 4 trillion? I mean, they hide this stuff. It's amazing. It's like, Doc must be crazy, or the world is crazy. You take your choice. I think the world is crazy. I think I'm just always fired up and excited about stuff. Let's see. Meanwhile, as the book on Evergrande's story closes, the company's imminent default and the sudden collapse in China property market, which, as we noted last night, saw a 90% crash in land sales values in August. There's not a word of it on the financial networks. It's amazing. Oh, the swaps, that's what it was. Deutsche Bank had something like 63 or 65 or 72, somewhere's in there. And the second biggest was Citibank in New York. That's why the Federal Reserve bailed out Citi, and that's why the German Republic Bank bailed out Deutsche Bank. And that's why no one was willing to buy them, because they had over a trillion, 72 trillion, not billion, 72 trillion in swaps. Let's see what they say here. China onshore one-year swaps. Let's see if we can figure out what their swap rate was. Let me see. I can't find it there. But this is what's going on, and it should be. This should be like literally the lead story everywhere. 90% drop in property values. Crashed. My God. Land sale values, 90% drop. 90. Not 9%, not 16%. I'm reading the Bloomberg thing there. Huh. Amazing. Just amazing. Anyway. Hey Douglas, how you doing? All right, I'm getting off the crazy soapbox. I'm done. All right, just wanted everybody to know what's going on here. Because if you have money in a fund that wants to plow money into China, tell them no. Run like Forrest Gump. Run. But don't let them do that to you. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Swollen balls and sensors. Nicki Minaj is now the headline and Zero Hedge. But at least Evergrande is still number 2. It's something there. All right, where are we at now? Let's go back to the currencies. And good morning again to you, Douglas. So there we are there. We saw the euro dipping down. I'm kind of impressed that the cable is, not as bad at the moment. It's holding up. Let's see it over on Chicago and J4X. There it is on J4X. Moving down, a couple reds, just like here in Chicago. A couple reds. Lines moved down. Line's been underneath the zero for 3 days now. So there's pressure there, but not too bad. Okay, not too bad. So the cable's doing all right. Now let's drift over to the Turkish Lira. I can't wait to see what that looks like. That should be very interesting. If they're running towards the dollar, you would think that we'd see some selling in Turkish Lira. And we'll put it up on Chicago Quant at the same time. Yeah, so it stayed in the sell for 3 days now, and now we are leaping up a little bit here. Yeah, and look at that, the weekly is holding on, and the dollar, dollar Turkish Lira pairs trade. And let's drift over to the euro Turkish Lira right there. And let's see what else we got going on. Let's try it over here on J4X. Right, I know it's right around here. There it is. Oop. There we go. So that's pressing up. Let's see if the weekly is going on. See, the weekly's still not lifting here on the euro pairs trade. You can't see that at the moment, but you can see it right there. Not lifting up. Close, very close through the time manifolds. And I guess if they would get some guns going on that. But you have to wonder, when is the Federal Reserve going to go smooth out the rest of the pairs trades? They're not going to let these pairs trades get out of hand. They never do. You can see over the last year plus, especially with Mr. Biden and Mrs. Yellen in charge, no way. They are not going to let any money come out of the marketplace. They're going to prop it up and keep on propping it up, and they're just going to, it's going to stay that way. And it just there's no other. It's not that the dollar is so great. It's just that it's a flight to safety. That's all it is. Safety in the dollar. Gold sells off. That's pretty much gold down, dollar up, China and gold down. That's it. That's what it is. And dollar up. I mean, that's the whole game here. Euro melted. Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see what it looked like with the Swiss, Douglas? Did you see that? What I had up on the screen? That's broken through that down channel. It's moved straight through that. Did you see that? Yeah. So that's where we are, traders. And you can I'll tell you, and you would think that, like U.S. stocks will be getting clocked or something like that. Forget it. What they'll do is they'll let them fall a little bit, and then what they'll do is they'll start to pick them up again. They're going to hold that market up. They are not going to let it fall down. All right, let's check out Canadian at this point. I don't even know how to interpret this. Last I saw, oil was flat, gold is down. You got to assume Canada has got to be moving up against the dollar. Right there. We'll throw it up over here too. It's trying. You see it right there. It's just trying. It's very close. Look at that. Minus 0.0011. Just went from 13 to 11. So it's trying. It's trying to be down. And they're starting to reach up for it. The weekly doesn't care. The weekly's been in a weekly buy for a while now. So, I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Look at it. All the way back here, down at the low of the channel, it went into the weekly buy. All right. Let's see. What else can we look at here? Let's jump over to, from there, what we do is we look at the gold, and, we've seen that. Gold is still sliding down as far as I can tell. Let's put you there so you can see it. We'll put it up on Chicago J4X. Let's put it up on J4X at the same time. Right there. And we're at 6. I think we're just playing with the bottom of the range now. I guess they're liquidating. I don't know. Could China be liquidating a little gold? I kind of doubt it. But you know what? They will do anything to stay in power. So I think they will treat dollars more importantly than they treat gold. So it's probably a half and half. So they, who knows? Maybe they sold 15 or 20 billion dollars worth of bonds, and then they sell like like maybe 15, 20 billion dollars worth of gold, that type of thing, to try to get some cash in. And that could be part of the process that's going on at the moment. And then you got to figure by the end of the day, they'll find a way to lift that back up too. All right. Let's check out crude. Crude is down a little bit. Nothing major. And it's still in the buy. Still in the weekly buy. Oh, where is the weekly sell on gold? Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. So gold has slid into the weekly sell too at the same time from that move. So just when you thought it was safe to get back into the water, when they put silver into a daily buy for a few days, it's like smack-a-doodle. We'll come back to that after we check out the rest of the currencies. Let's see what the South African rand looks like right now. Right there. And let's get it up on our screen too. The rand is moving back up again. Last couple days, they knew 3 days ago something was brewing. Just when we saw silver, remember I said that when I saw this buy kick in, if this thing had thrown the weekly up a little bit stronger, I would be like, oh my God, watch out, metals are going to collapse. But I said something about, well, they got silver in a buy, gold flirting with the sell. I said, it's hard to understand, but when you see the South African rand moving up, you got to assume that they may put pressure on the metals complex. And obviously, boom. And a new low in gold too at the same time as we speak. Now the low is 59.80, trading at 60.80. So they just took it down again. And they are now they're bidding lower. Oh, they just bid the low and perked up a little bit. It's trading at 60 and 20 cents, 60 and a dime. 59.90 bid, now 60.2, 60.6. So I guess there's some buyers out there. You would think they would want to buy gold, but they're playing with the weekly. All right, let's shoot over to the South African rand there. There you go. You can see it there too. Strength, 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 and strength. Indeed. All right, now. Let's take a look at the ruble. I'm assuming just because of the way the dollar is being lifted that the ruble is going to have its issues too. Ruble did go into a sell yesterday. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to hold up a little bit. Maybe that economy is worth running at. It's up a little bit, so it's not down for the day. It's up for the day, but it's not anything big and strong. All right, now let's jump over to the yen. You see the yen heading up, we're getting weak against the dollar. And you can see it's actually flirting with a weekly buy all of a sudden. It hasn't done that. It wasn't when I sent the charts out this morning, they weren't doing that. So it's just like the last hour and a half, we're starting to see some strength. Ooh, this could be interesting. I don't know. I just don't have any hope that we're going to see markets trade free from noise like this. I just don't see it. I know that a lot of people probably think it should, but as I heard someone say on one of the only financial channel that I trust, and that's Business Fox. Not Fox News, but the Business Fox. And Newsmax. And I have to say that the only thing that makes any sense to me is that the marketplace is trying to go up because there's so much cash, and they said sloshing around, and the money manager said gazillions of it, gazillions. He said it's sloshing around, just waiting to get invested. Gazillions. And that's what that is. All right. Let's jump over to the Mexican peso. See what that's doing. It's been heading down for days. Right there. Let's see what it's doing today. There it is. And it's up a little bit. And it actually is flirting with its, let's widen this for you as to say. So it's cutting across, trying to go into the buy. You got a red and a green, or a green and a red, whatever you want to call it. And you can see it's trying to lift up. And the weekly is trying to lift up again. Right there, it's just minus 0.0014. So we're seeing peso looking okay, you know, and we didn't expect it to go down too much either. And again, the Federal Reserve will keep all this stuff in line. It's not like they're going to give it a, you know, do that. They made a new low as we've been looking at these other charts in gold. It went down to $59 even, and is now trading at $61.20. So it's $2 off its low. And that does not surprise me any. I mean, that's just the way it rolls, you know. La 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 la. La 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 la. So let's see, where are we at here now? So let's take a look at what do we look at next? We look at, from here we go to the metals complex and the oil complex and see what's going on there. Let's throw silver up on the screen there on J, and let's tune into silver in Chicago Quan. And just find the right mouse, like that. And let's move this down to that. There we are. And that is gold. What's gold doing? Is it going after a low again? No, it's at 60.5. Now let's take a look at silver, which was looking so promising. And look at it now. It's collapsed. The weekly is not in the plus side at all. And silver now is down almost $1. So sad. They can't get this poor thing off its back. It just keeps on rolling over, and we have a world that's in debt up to its eyeballs, and the financial markets can't do a thing about it because the Federal Reserve says, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, man, be happy. Let's see what the platinum is doing. There's the platinum being pushed down like everybody else. But it's pretty much unchanged for today. Look at it. Nothing bad there. But it's still in daily sells now since like right here. And we've been a weekly sell for 19 weeks. We're going on half a year. We get to 25 weeks or 26 weeks, that's half a year we've been in a weekly sell. That is wild, isn't it? Since the 1200 changed area, which was like a major high. February we were in the 13s. Wow. Then let's take a look at copper. That's the gold of China. They do a lot of things with copper over there. There is high grade deck copper. And that's getting pressured down. And we've fallen out of the buy side and we are heading towards the sell side on the weekly. So we'll keep our eyes peered on that one also. Now let's jump over to natural gas, right there. And there's natural gas. And you can see it's trying to lift up. And that's where we are with that. Oh, sure, Douglas. Let's see what they're doing. They are a currency, so it's possible. There could be some interesting action going on there. Here's soybeans. I know soybeans were playing with the buy. The other two are in buys. I know that much. And yeah, you can see it here. Let me just fix that. What happened there? Where'd it go? Cancel. Something's wrong there. Gotta fix that. We had that red dot. That's the only thing that kept the product from being in a buy 2 days ago. And but you know, I put it. It's in a buy now. I trust it as a buy. Problem is that it's in a weekly sell, so you can't exactly get too excited about that. Same thing with corn. There's deck corn in a weekly sell, been a daily buy for 3 days. You see that right there. Then deck wheat. Where's deck wheat? There it is. Same situation as corn. Boy, we've seen some good sorghum growing out here too. Douglas says friends are starting their harvest in Brazil. Yeah, we're doing the same thing around here in corn. People are starting to harvest their corn. Yep, same stuff. Same stuff going on here. Yeah. I think that you know, the September contract just expired, so people are putting delivery to it, and I think it expired in the $5 area, something like that, 5.5. Where's the, let's see, where's corn in deck? I think there's a 30 or 40 cent spread in it. Let's see. Let's go back to deck corn. Yeah, deck corn is trading at 5.35. So I would imagine September. I don't. Let me try this. Can I find deck corn? Let's see. I can put it on another machine, I think. Let me see if I can find deck corn. La 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 la. I'm not deck corn. I'm sorry, September corn. I wonder where September corn is. Let me do this. Let me switch pages here for a second, and we'll see if we can find September corn. I think it's closed today. I think that's what it did. I don't think they. I think all the SEPs are gone. Let me just see. Yeah, they're all gone. They expired yesterday. That's why everybody is harvesting. That's exactly why everybody's harvesting. Right there. And so, let's see, what can we say about any of this at this point? The commodities, I guess money's running towards the commodities. You know, what's really surprising is check out the wheat, you know. I mean, the wheat is trading at 7.10. So that's pretty, it's holding a lot of its value. And wheat has been holding a lot of its value. And that is it. Did that satisfy the corn, beans, and soybeans, corn? Oh, you didn't even ask about wheat. Okay. All right. Now, let's drift over to, let's see what beans look like over on the J4X. Right there. Just flirting with the $13 area. You can see it's been telling you that it wants to go up. Where did I put the other part of it? There it is. Yeah, see, it's been telling you for days that it's trying to go up. Whereas on Doc's work, it's been fighting it, you know? It's firm, but it's been fighting it. And we're in that weekly sell, too. It doesn't want to project the strength there. There's one of those times where J4X is ahead of the curve. All right. Now let's see. Where did we leave off? We did the metals and the crudes. Want to take a look at the stock indices, get a flavor of what's going on there. But if anybody wants to see anything, just shout it out. We will go after it. Okay, traders. All right. Now you can see here's the S&P 500. It's down about 5 points. Nothing. And an hour ago, when the webinar started, we were trading in the 456 area, and now we are trading in the 468 area. So it's gone up 12 points. So at one point, when we started the webinar, this thing was down 16 points. Again, they know the Federal Reserve is going to prop this stuff up, there's just no stopping it. And here is the Nasdaq. Let's see, why does that look a little overly? Let's see if we can shrink that down a little bit. But there's the Nasdaq 100, or the Tech 100 that's on Dukascopy. And when the webinar started on this, it was trading in the 437 area, and now we are at 447. Basically, right? 47, 46. And so we were at the, okay, so it's pretty much unchanged. It did try to climb up into the 60s, and it's fallen back down again. So they're selling out the tech stocks a little bit, maybe a little nervousness there. Dow Jones Industrial Average, when we started this webinar, was trading down for the day around 80, 90 points, trading at 646, that's 34,646. And it has run to 646 to 722. It ran back up 80 points. And it's up 21 points on the plus. On the plus, no less. So easy money. It is, unfortunately, it just keeps on doing that. And if you're doing it through binaries or options, it's a heck of a lot easier money because you don't get stopped out. And if there's a collapse, you have a limited risk. And it's ridiculous, but that's what they're doing. Matter of fact, I don't see any correction in the equity market. I think we talked about this in the beginning of this week or last week. Someone was asking about a correction. And remember, I think they were saying, that all that talk of the 5-10%. I said, no way. At best, 3 if there was a correction. At best 3, but I don't even think they'll let 3 happen. The best they're letting happen is like 1.25, 1.5, something like that. They're not going to let. This market needs some type of extraordinary. Martians have to land on Earth. It literally will take something as crazy as an invasion from outer space. Honestly, it's going to take something odd, something very dramatic, like something like that. Something that changes the narrative to the point where it's not what anybody was ever expecting. A black swan, I think they call it. It's going to take that type of an event because they will not. They are not interested in any way letting this market fall down and collapse. None whatsoever. Not one remote moment. Not at all. Matter of fact, we should take a look at the, you can see the stock indices are all perked up. But let's just take a look at the 30-year bond. It was flirting with a sell this morning. Let's see where it is right now. There. Right there. There it is. There's a 30-year bond. Yeah, see, they were flirting with a sell. They're still flirting with a sell, but look at the weekly buy. It's definitely looking very healthy in there. Let's give it a refresh, too. Yeah, so the daily's getting pushed down a little bit. I mean, how many of you are willing to step up? Because I'm telling you, more than likely by the end of the day, it's going to be higher than where it is now. I'd be very surprised that they sell any of this stuff down. Let's see, what else we got going here? So that's the stock indices. Let's take a look at the dailies of them, since we're here. There's the Nasdaq, still hanging out in the daily sell since up in here. So a bunch of days. but the weekly is still above the 0 line. Only the gas 5 of the gas line overall is minus. The other two are plus, so don't get too excited on the downside. Now, S&P 500 has been flirting with the weekly sell for a couple of days now. It's still minus by 490. And you can see the daily is doing the same thing there, still minus as much as they're trying to lift it up. It's down. It's still down about 4 points. And let's give it a refresh. There it is, right there. But overall, they're not able to budge this stuff, not at all. Let's see now. And then the Dow Jones on a daily basis. That's been in a weekly sell for going on a second week. This is the third week now. 2 weeks in a sell, and now a third week. And we've made new lows. We're down about 1,000 points from when it went into the weekly sell. But it doesn't mean a heck of a lot anymore. Boy, I hear big machines out there. Ever since that tornado, we're getting all kinds of cleaning up around here. I should try to take one picture. It's on a road called Breakneck Road. It's an old historical road, and it looked like the tornado got trapped and just bounced around inside the hills. So we'll have to, I'll try to take a picture of it and show you over the next couple of days. But it was astonishing. And this tornado increased and decreased and ran 70 some odd miles. It was very fascinating. But that's all I hear is big machines out there. Just things getting chopped up. It's funny, I can see the next town's water tower now. I couldn't do that before the tornado. So it is what it is. All right, so there's the stock indices. That's done. So we've looked at the currencies, we've looked at the metals and the energies, and we've looked at even the commodities. We've looked at corn and wheat and soybeans. The marketplace is all over the place. That's the only best way to describe it. Anybody have anything else they want to look at? I don't see anything particular that's worth jumping out and talking about at the moment. I think I have a good idea what to call this, because it is crazy stuff going on. Watching China have these problems and the marketplace find it totally irrelevant to even. It's so hard to believe that Bloomberg doesn't even have it up on their headlines. That's the astonishing part. And I showed you the front page of Bloomberg. There was nothing there. Nothing was there. That's just too wild. I mean, it's like, what is the malfunction going on at this point? That they can't even tell you even remote truth facts about, allegedly, as they keep on telling us, the second largest economy in the world. So, okay. Yeah, so I'm just waiting to see if anybody has anything else they'd like to look at. If not, we're just going to call it a day, because it's there just isn't. I guess I've said it all. I mean, what else can you say? But wow, China down. There we go. So anyway, traders, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. And so we will start our little song off, and hope everybody has a safe and smart day. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you To all our trading friends. All right, traders, we will catch you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Doc saying arrivederci.